was fun, and I found a way to make it even funner. I looked it up and I found the most debated Am I the A-hole posts ever. And I think you and we should read them and try to figure out who really is the a-hole and which one of us is the a-hole for agreeing with the a-hole. So what do you say? Do you want to give it a shot? Alright, let's start then. This one got over 36,000 upvotes, so it's gotta be exciting, right? It's gotta be a big one. This one says, Am I the a-hole for flipping out on my fiance for canceling all the vegan food options from her wedding food menu behind my back? My fiance, 31 male, and I, 25 female, are getting married soon. There wasn't much that we disagreed on during the wedding planning, except for food. Me and my family are vegans, and there are so many reasons why we chose this lifestyle, and one of them being that we have a history of health issues. My fiance and his family are the complete opposite. They're hardcore meat eaters, which is fine by me, obviously. However, when deciding on the wedding food menu, I wanted to add 4 to 5 vegan options. My fiance and his mom objected, saying it was a waste of money over food that isn't real food. They also argued that this would be offensive for their guests and suggested my vegan options just be the good old salads and appetizers. His mom wanted cupcakes, lol. I said no, because for one, it's me and my family who's paying, and two, I want to make my guests feel welcome and not be treated as second-class citizens by being served salad. My fiance made a face and said, Isn't that what vegans eat? I refused to argue about it and said it was final. The other day, I found out that he had canceled all the vegan options and took them off the menu completely and behind my back. I was seething. I called him at work, but he kept hanging up on me. I went straight to his workplace and confronted him there and just flipped out on him. He was stunned to see me. He at first said it was his mom's idea, then told me to go home because I was making a scene at the office. The fight continued at home, and he defended himself by saying that I sort of made him resort to doing this after I kept brushing off his thoughts and input and refusing to accommodate his family. But there were plenty of meat options. Why can't I get 4 to 5 vegan options when I'm paying for it? He yelled that it was his wedding too, not my family's. My family said it was fine and they'll figure it out and told me to let it go, but I refused. Am I the a-hole for putting my foot down on this? Okay, so my opinion, she's totally not the a-hole. What an a-hole of a guy to cancel all the food options that she's paying for. Like he's like, oh, it's my wedding too. Oh, really? How about it could be your money too then, and you pay for the meat and I'll pay for the vegan options? What about that? Absolutely ridiculous. Who goes behind someone's back and does that? Oh, there's an update. It says, update. So his mom messaged me earlier to try to get me to listen to what she had to say after I kept ignoring her phone calls. She sent long walls of text just to address what I did at her son's workplace, calling it all kinds of stuff from immature to unhinged. She then went to explain how she's noticed that me and my family kept acting dismissive of her son's input and contributions to the wedding. She said that she noticed my behavior towards him and her entire family and wanted to speak up earlier but didn't and tried to keep the peace. She then went on to address the food menu issue and denied her involvement in the cancellation of the vegan option. But that didn't mean she doesn't support her son's decision. Moreover, she thought it was so responsible of him to make that move because of my continual refusal to see how this stuff is a waste of money. She also pointed out how I kept saying I paid for it and said that technically this isn't just my money. It's mine and his because we're getting married, and she suggested I wisen up and get rid of my money, I paid for it mentality. She finally mentioned how bad this whole situation is making me look, and said that she and her son had already offered a number of compromises that I chose to brush off, and decided to make it my weird hill to die on. She said that not only her son is upset, but she and the family are as well, after hearing about it, and suggested I just agree on their compromise and be done with it. That pissed me off beyond belief. I responded by letting her know that I'm still standing my ground on this, even if I'll have to call the whole wedding off because of it. Because honestly, this is just ridiculous. It is. My mom and dad, they don't even know what to say anymore. Apparently, my fiancé saw my response to her. He's with her and is now trying to call me, but right now I'm waiting on him to get home and see if he's still insisting on the stance he took. I'll update if there's anything worth adding after we talk. So there's no update after that, so I wonder what happened. But in my opinion, she's not the a-hole. Her mother-in-law is, or soon-to-be mother-in-law. And her dude is the a-hole. Why is he being so weird and letting his mom take the reins on this? I'm sorry, but if anyone, I'm not marrying the mom, I'm marrying you. Get your mom out of this equation. She has no seat at the stable. And she won't have a seat at the wedding if she keeps it up. Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie, I would just cancel the whole wedding. Cause ain't no way someone's gonna treat me like that and let their mom treat me like that. Honestly, I'm really proud of the OP for being like, I'm so pissed, I'm so mad, she didn't back down once. She is fire. Good on her. Let's see what the comments said. Not the a-hole. So he, 1, has no clue what vegans actually eat and has no interest in learning. 2, believes having food for your family is offensive to theirs, while having no food for your family is perfectly fine. 3, doesn't respect your input and your money. 4, makes decisions about matters important to you behind your back. 5, either can't stand up to his mom or uses her as his scapegoat. There's a lot of things to be really angry about. Why are you marrying this guy again? Someone else said, not the a-hole. Are you sure you want to marry this man and his family? They have no respect at all for you and yours. And then the OP said, frankly, I have no idea why his mom feels so strongly about getting involved. I only included in wedding planning only because I respect her, but I guess it's like they say, give an inch and they'll take a mile. I really love this OP, she's so strong. Someone else said, not the a-hole. And easy fix. He canceled the vegan options. You cancel the wedding. Imagine what the toxicity will be when you guys have kids and you won't have any type of input on their upbringing. Someone else said, not the a-hole unless you marry him. He showed you who he is, believe him. You guys, I have to go to this girl's profile. I have to find out what happened. Let's see. Somebody, she wrote a comment, the OP, and it said, thank you, and you're right. Honestly, I felt kind of hesitant about posting an update. In fact, I was hesitant about posting my situation as a whole. Normally, I'm not the type to share my private business online, but I was desperate. there were times where his family made me feel like I was taking crazy pills. Honestly, and I'm gonna say this anyway, I hate them. They always made me feel like an outsider and a stranger. Never really warmed up to me and instead pretended to like me because it was obvious they resented me. They claimed that I'm a covert fat phobic, but in reality, I got mocked along with my family for being underweight due to health issues. Health issues I'd mentioned before. Don't even get me started on ex-future mother-in-law, though. I feel as though I gotta let it all out and vent. If I was there, I'd be like, girl, let it all out, vent, girl. But it looks like she never updated after this, so I'm kinda confused. I wonder what happened. And I really want to reach out to her and be like, girl, did you ever get married to this, snake? Okay, this is her last comment. The OP said, exactly, like I said, I'd noticed a pattern of this behavior but kept rationalizing it, which was a huge mistake on my part. It's been utter torture trying to please him and his family. I'm an emotional mess right now, but there's this little voice of reassurance telling me I've gone through the worst and survived it. I'm so thankful this happened. It helped me see things clearer. I hope that means she broke up with him. Oh, there is an update. Wait, you guys. Okay, wow, this is exciting. Okay, the update. It says, okay, here's the update. So the talk didn't go well. I waited for him to come home so we could have a final conversation about it, but he still insisted on his stance. For more details, his family are a bit on the heavy side. Most of them are obese. Nothing wrong with that. They're perfectly within their right to decide how to live, but they get easily offended at the mention of the words weight and food. I tried so hard to focus on the issue at hand, but I noticed there was a pattern of this behavior. He said it wasn't true, and that this was just an attempt for me to throw past conflicts at him in order to win the current one. He claimed he tried to reason with me about why and how his guests might see those vegan options as offensive. Also said that his family loved food and considered it a big deal, and how he didn't want his family to feel like there's certain options that they couldn't touch, and feel that there's difference in how I treat them versus how I treat my family. He then went on to explain how it's just an event and how my family should just accept what's on the menu. And if they felt inconvenience, so what? It's just a one-time thing. They're not gonna die if they had salad and appetizers. What he said wasn't good enough reason for me, because his folks are gonna think and say what they want. But at the end of the day, it's my wedding, and to be honest, realizing that my partner himself thinks it's okay to steamroll my opinions and decisions simply because he's prioritizing others and their opinions over me was really upsetting and not something that could be looked past. Normally, I'm a person of rational discussions and compromises. I'm all about compromises. I'd compromised on much bigger matters than just food. But like people said, it's not about food anymore. If it ever was. Like, he'd literally lose nothing if he let me have what I wanted. But apparently, he was willing to lose it all over this, which it's fine by me. I gave him back the ring and called everything off. I just couldn't envision myself living like this any longer. Having to walk on eggshells for his family and letting them basically override my opinions and have the final say. No matter what, marriage is about compromise. And here, he has nothing to lose yet just to do this to me and my family. Mind you, this is my first serious relationship, and I didn't know what to expect. But it's safe to say that he and his mom and family did make it feel like I was taking crazy pills on many, many occasions, so that's that. Last thing he said was that I chose my family over him and ended everything between for the sake of keeping him happy. Decision's been made and it's done. Just wanted to give an update to those who wanted it. Thank you so much for your endless stream of advice and support. Okay, I find it so ironic and hypocritical that this guy claimed that she ruined the relationship over her chose his family over the relationship, and it wasn't even a situation where his family was like even up for debate. All it was about food. All she wanted was to do vegan options. I don't understand. Like, he just didn't want her family to eat. Like, what? Why was it so important? Like, oh, they would get offended if they saw, like, vegan options. Why? That's so annoying, you guys. That is so unbelievably annoying. I need to go into the next story before I lose my mind over this one. This one got over 41,000 upvotes. It says, am I the a-hole for telling cashier that wasn't the girl's credit card? Throw away because husband told me I was the a-hole and want to know before I get home and argue. On phone format is bad. I was in a higher-end department store today, rhymes with looming tales, and happened to end up next to two teenage girls while shopping. One of the girls had picked out a pair of very expensive boots, and they were both fawning over them. Second girl must have looked at price tag and asks Boots girl if she's really going to spend that much on boots. Girl with boots says something along the lines of, it's fine, I have my dad's credit card, I'm not paying, which instantly caught my attention because that's not her card. I've told my son multiple times he's never allowed to use my card, so I'm interested to see how this girl thinks she's going to get away with fraud, but had split up from the girls at this point because they had found something else. We end up at the same register, me behind, and I see her total hit well over 4 digits. The girl is about to swipe her card when I decide that I can't let her get away with something like this, and someone has to parent this kid if no one else will. I tell cashier that isn't her card but her father's, and I'm not sure she has permission. Girl and friend turn and glare at me, giving me possibly the dirtiest look I've ever seen. I swear this girl was going to throw a tantrum right there. I don't think she was ever told no. Girl tells cashier her father gave her the card to shop with because it's the store's credit card and it gives him the points. Now that I've pointed out it wasn't hers, cashier tells her she can't use that card. Girl tries to show ID to prove they have the same last name. Yeah, that will help. And I tell her it's still fraud. Girl says it's not fraud because she has permission and tells me to mind my own business. I tell her that it is my business, that she's doing something illegal. She needs to pay with her own card or I'll call the cops. Girl is pissed now and people are glaring at me. She uses her own card and leaves crying. Cashier looks mad at me and I tell my husband when I get home only for him to agree I was in the wrong. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Let's see. Okay, so yeah, she's the a-hole. She should mind her own business. Because honestly, like, how does she know that she didn't have her dad's permission? All the girl said was, it's fine, I have my dad's credit card, I'm not paying. So how did she not know that the dad said, here, take this card, I have store points, go get whatever you want? Honestly, I think the woman overstepped her boundaries by eavesdropping. Like, literally, she doesn't even know that if the girl's dad said she could do it. Honestly, if I was the girl, I would just call my dad and have him talk to the cashier. And then we would find out if he agreed or not. But let's see what the comments say. You're the a-hole. Did it ever occur to you that she was telling the truth and her dad had given her his credit card? Mind your own business. Edit. Holy sh. This blew up. To everyone saying that she could have taken the card without permission, you were right. But it is still none of OP's business and there is no way to know for sure. If the girl was an adult who said she was using her husband's card, OP likely wouldn't have batted an eye. Someone else said, "You're the a-hole. Mind your own effing business. The girl's dad probably makes money and she's spoiled, and it absolutely isn't your job to parent her and embarrass her like that in a store. You also aren't a federal law enforcement officer investigating fraud. Just buy your and go home." That's so funny. This one was kind of stupid, so let's go to a different one. This one says, "Am I the a-hole for telling my extended family how many men roughly my sister has slept with after she outed our youngest brother as a virgin? We had a family dinner this evening. My family has 4 kids in total. Me, my elder sister, 29 female, younger sister, 24 female, and youngest brother, 22 male. Extended family attended our family dinner, so all of our significant others, our cousins, aunts, and uncles, etc. During the dinner, my elder sister and youngest brother got into a mild disagreement. My sister seemed, at least to me, to be coming across as very aggressive. Out of frustration and losing said argument, the 2 of them were too absorbed in their argument to realize the rest of us were getting a bit fed up. Eventually, my sister got really fed up and said, 'Shut up, I'm not going to argue with a 22-year-old virgin.' My brother hadn't done any personal attacks up until that point. It was completely unprovoked. I think it might have been the alcohol, as my sister is a mean drunk. Anyway, I immediately told my sister to grow up and that she was making an embarrassment of herself. She replied by saying everyone knows he's a virgin and she didn't know, and she didn't say anything wrong. She replied by saying everyone knows and she didn't say anything wrong. This annoyed me, as my bro definitely has confidence issues and doesn't need to be made fun of like this. So I responded by saying how she slept with well over 100 men while she was in college, and that since everyone in the family knows this, it's not a big deal, right? Turns out her husband didn't know this, amazingly. I genuinely assumed he must have known. He left the party angrily, saying my sister misled him about her past. Family is blaming me for their marital problems. I refused to accept I did anything wrong. My sister bullied my brother in front of everyone. All I did was give her a taste of her own medicine. Now, I would say she's not the a-hole because the girl swung first. Like, the sister swung first, so everything's fair game after that. Like, you know what they say, talk get it. Now, let's see what people said. The comment said, "Everyone sucks here. One person making personal attacks doesn't mean everyone else should." Or, okay. One person making personal attacks doesn't mean someone else should, especially since you weren't even in the argument to begin with. I don't think that's necessarily true because she is in the argument. If they're having the argument in front of everyone, then everyone's entitled to an opinion. Know what I'm saying? Someone else said, "Not the a-hole. You were looking out for your little brother and you fought with the truth. If your sister can't take the truth, she shouldn't dish it out. She also shouldn't have kept it from her husband." Most of the people are saying everyone sucks or not the a-hole. Let's do another one. I want to do, let's do this one. Am I the a-hole for telling my son he deserved his girlfriend breaking up with him? So my son had a long-distance girlfriend recently for about 2 years. She was great, a really nice girl, and we all loved her. Welcomed her with open arms. She was flying here constantly to visit him. Like a weekend a month, and he didn't lift a finger to go visit her. My wife probably had something to do with it, as she constantly told him she was afraid of him flying. I spoke to them both and said this girl is great for him. She was willing to move over to our country too, but said there was one condition, and that was he'd have to fly over to her country too, which is fair enough. He said no, he didn't want to fly or travel anywhere. My son was becoming lazier and lazier, eventually telling his girlfriend and us that he was perfectly fine never traveling anywhere, including holidays, etc. Last week, he told us she's dumped him. I went on her Facebook page as we're all still friends. She wrote us an apology letter about how she's upset it didn't work out, but these things happen, so we're on good terms, and looks like she's with a new guy already. Me and my wife have no doubt she was seeing him while still in a relationship with my son. I confessed to them both that I actually agree with her decision, and he should have expected it. He did not treat her properly, and I hope he learns lessons for the next one, because he needs to make more of an effort. I said he deserves it for his lack of effort in the relationship, and for essentially just allowing this girl to spend all her money and time coming here all the time. Wife and son are very upset that I said this. Very, very upset, and my wife says I am being horrible. Am I the a-hole? I stand by what I said. I don't think he's the a-hole, he's right. He's the only one who told his son what was up. Like, if you're not gonna be committed in a relationship, then don't expect the other person to be committed either. Like, obviously, she had no right to cheat on him. I don't think that was cool. But I also don't think it's cool to just be lazy and expect her to do everything. Like, I'm not saying that you can do this, but like, if you're not getting something somewhere, you're gonna get it somewhere else. Which is good that she actually broke up with him. But to be honest, we don't even know if she cheated. Like, maybe it was just a guy friend that was always there for her, and then they broke up, and then she went to him. I don't know. Anyways, someone said, not the a-hole, that's the truth. What age is he? Edit, you say he's 24 in another comment. Definitely not the a-hole. If he is this lazy and has no plans to travel, what's his plan for leaving the house? Living with parents is great to save money, but he doesn't seem the type so far to actually get up and get out eventually. Not the a-hole. It's a truth he needs to hear. I'm more concerned about the reaction of your wife. Does she enable your son's laziness? Wait, I want to see if this guy left any comments. Wait, what? Oh my god, I got so confused because I went to this guy's account because I wanted to see if he said anything else. And I saw that in another post he said he was a 30-year-old male. And I was like, wait, that makes no sense. There's no way that, like, that's him then. But then I realized it's his son. So apparently his son posted on his account. I want to read it. I have to. So this is what his son said in another post. I'm 30 male, never been in love before my current girlfriends. Wait. Okay. This is the same son. I'm 30 male, never been in love before my current girlfriend, 28 female. I know my past makes her uncomfortable and I don't know how to help. Hi, I want to preface this with saying this account is my dad's, and after I came to him asking for advice, he told me I could use this since he's used it before to get advice on something to do with my brother. Wait, what? Okay, you guys, I feel like this is the same son, but he's lying and saying it was his brother. Because this was, the first post was 6 years ago, and this one is 2 years ago. If he was 24 6 years ago, he'd be 30, right? I definitely think it's the same guy, but let's just keep reading. He told me I could use this since he used it before to get advice on something to do with my brother. I wanted to say this before anyone thinks I'm lying. I've been with my girlfriend for only a few months, and I absolutely adore her. I've never felt this strongly about anyone ever. I've never had an actual relationship or girlfriend before I met her. I was instantly so attracted to her, but I didn't expect to fall so head over heels for her. I love her with all my heart, and I want to make her as happy as possible. I have a past like we all do, and I know it makes her uncomfortable. She thinks it's a lot even though I disagree and it shouldn't matter. I want her to feel secure with me and to trust me that she drives me crazy in the best way, and no one could ever compare to her. I'm not sure what I can say to her that will make her stop asking questions and just stop thinking about the past. She's never had a one-night stand and she's only ever had long-term relationships, and maybe that's the reason. I just want her to stop caring about a part of my life, mostly in uni, which meant nothing to me and was just fun. If I had known her back then, I would have dated her in a heartbeat and I would have wanted to be with her. Again, she knows this, but can't help feeling insecure sometimes. I love her so much and I hate that this hurts her. Any advice? Okay, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. My advice would be, okay, this is like kind of controversial or complicated, but like, I don't think people should talk that much about their past with their current partners because nobody likes doing it. Nobody wants to think about who someone's ex was. Like, it's really, really frustrating and annoying. And I feel like opening the door to it is why she keeps having thoughts about it. And I honestly don't know if this girl will be able to get over it. It's just nobody wants to think about that stuff. If I was him, or I would just stop answering questions. Or like, not stop answering questions, but I would just be like, this topic is stupid. Like, I didn't care about any of those girls. Like, it disgusts me to even talk about them. I hate them. Like, everyone I said was bad. Like, I just lie. Because she's insecure, because she feels like she's competing with all those people. She has to feel like there's no competition, and that's really hard when you already let her know there's like 11 other contestants. But yeah, I would just, I don't know, maybe put a ring on it. That would make her feel not insecure. But yeah, those are my opinions.